This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
This is Rob Gronkowski from Dudes on Dudes. Applebee's just cooked up the ultimate option play with their new Ultimate Trio deal. You can choose from 3 of their delicious appetizers and pair them up with 3 sauces for just $14.99. Craft your perfect trio from over 80,000 different combinations in this flavor-packed plate built for one, or to share if you're generous. You can stick with the classic pairings like boneless wings and buffalo sauce, or you can spice things up and try some unexpected pairings like dipping chicken wonton tacos in our honey Dijon mustard. It's time to head to your neighborhood Applebee's or order online today. Now that's eating good in the neighborhood.
Talk about stepping up.
It's time to level up your game. Introducing the all-new ESPN app. All of ESPN, all in one place. Your home for the most live sports and the best championship moments.
The electricity is palpable.
Step up your game with no annual contract required. It's the ultimate fan experience. Level up for more on the ESPN app or at stream.espn.com. Sign up now.
This Labor Day, say goodbye to spills, stains, and overpriced furniture with WashableSofas.com. Featuring Anabay, the only machine washable sofa inside and out, where designer quality meets budget-friendly pricing. Sofas start at just $6.99, making it the perfect time to upgrade your space. Anabay's pet-friendly, stain-resistant, and interchangeable slipcovers are made with high-performance fabric built for real life. You'll love the cloud-like comfort of hypoallergenic, high-resilience foam that never needs fluffing, and a durable steel frame that stands the test of time. With modular pieces, you can rearrange anytime. It's a sofa that adapts to your life. Now through Labor Day, get up to 60% off site-wide at WashableSofas.com. Every order comes with a 30-day satisfaction guarantee. If you're not in love, send it back for a full refund. No return shipping, no restocking fees, every penny back. Shop now at WashableSofas.com. Offers are subject to change and certain restrictions may apply.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Great Minnesota Get-Together. This is 9 to noon. To this trio of gentlemen in front of us.
Are you kidding me?
Took time to make a sign. So, assumedly, you're here for the day. You're here for 9 to noon, Duckies and Bunnies, as your sign says. Common man, get Rosie going. Get Rosie going. Get Rosie going. Barrero, the big ticket, and the cake eater by his side. And then the Power Trip morning show this evening at 6:30.
That makes sense.
Why we are really here. Hey, we give you guys a round of applause, man.
Dedication.
That's commitment to the bit right there. Woo. Appreciate you. And we might get out there with a microphone and chat with you momentarily. But 9 to noon's arrival at the Great Minnesota Get-Together comes with some late-breaking news in that for the Minnesota Vikings, a familiar face is coming home.
Cousins takes the snap. Green Bay rushes for Cousins, passes. Thielen! He caught it! Is he in? Touchdown! What an amazing pass by Kirk Cousins, threading the needle. Thielen closes on it. 22-yard touchdown, and we're a 2-point conversion from tying the game.
AT1.
First and 10 from the Saints 45. Madison, the tailback, play action for Kirk from under center, straight drop. Kirk trying to win it to Thielen, caught at the 5, and he stopped at the 2. Cousins, Thielen, 42 on the Saints. First and goal, Vikings from the 2. Yes, Kirk, well done.
Remember that move he put on Patrick Robinson on that play? No chance.
Adam Thielen, in case you missed social media, Adam Thielen is returning to the Minnesota Vikings, and we clap because AT19 is a significant figure in the history of Minnesota Vikings football. Adam Thielen with his 600-some-odd yards in 10 games for the Carolina Panthers last year. Shoot, my man found a way to 1,000 receiving yards 2 years ago in Bryce Young's bad year. I mean, that bears unpacking and getting into the weeds, but we don't have time to do that right now. But the Minnesota Vikings, led by Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, the general manager, within the last half hour have traded for Adam Thielen. So just to give you a quick little recap on like the who, what, where, when, and why after, by the way, I'm Paul Allen, this producer Eric Nordquist. This is 9 to Noon.
And good morning.
And good morning. Welcome to the State Fair. Justin Jefferson had a swoon over his hammy early in camp, but that seems to be okay. So a week from Monday, the Vikings open the season against the Chicago Bears at Soldier Field. Justin Jefferson in the game. Check. After that, Jalen Naylor jammed his hand in the or a finger or something in the second New England Patriots joint practice. Didn't even make the trip to Nashville after not playing in the Patriots game. No idea whether Jalen will make that dance, so therefore that's not a check, but it's also not an elimination. And then after that, Jordan Addison suspended for 3 games, so he'll miss at Chicago, Atlanta here, Cincinnati here. And then you get into a bunch of names who made the Minnesota Vikings for specific reasons, like undrafted Indiana Hoosier Miles Price. He'll be, unless something changes, and it certainly could change given the season's a week and a half away, he is your punt and kick returner as of now. Tim Jones, former Jacksonville Jaguar, he made the final roster purportedly for his special teams excellence with the Jacksonville Jaguars, and he came on really, really well in training camp too. So he's on the team. You got some practice squad guys and everything, but clearly there seemed to be a little bit of a void into the regular season. So Detroit Lakes and Falcon Heights go crazy. Adam Thielen has returned to the Minnesota Vikings, and assumedly will finish his career here. What was the compensation, and good morning?
Good morning. Looks like a couple of pick swaps. So Carolina's going to get our 5th. We will be getting their 7th next season. And then in 2027, they'll be getting our 4th, and we will be getting their 5th. Mm-hmm. So we just flipped a couple of picks this next draft and then 2027. And it sounds like what's being reported is they're just working on money and such with Mr. Thielen. Mm-hmm. But he's here. He's a member of the Minnesota Vikings.
Well, it's not official until the team makes it official.
Got to get the email from PR. We got to get all.
Yeah,
that.
but yeah. What's the last part that you said? Like is it Adam Schefter or Tom Pelissero? Those are two of the more reliable nationally that you'll find. Are they like this is not a done deal, but it's like 9.8 out of 10, a done deal? We just got to get the cash right, stuff like that.
Let me see here. Here's where,
because the steam that I got yesterday after the cuts, and Pete Bursich, analyst for the Vikings Radio Network, Tatum Everett with the Vikings Entertainment Network, we recorded a roster type deal at Twin Cities Orthopedics Performance Center. I'm quite sure it's available at Vikings.com right now. And I also did a podcast with Alec Lewis, who will join us later today. He covers the Vikings for The Athletic. So I was at the facility for a good 3.5, 4 hours yesterday, and that's not the day to walk to the second floor and do covenant catch-ups with, like, the linebackers coach, all right? when they're cutting players and adding players, and it's tense there. Like, right when I walked in, I see Morgan State undrafted defensive tackle Elijah Williams walking down the hallway, and then there's a coach like running behind him. I'm like, what's happening here? Well, then they embraced, and he congratulated him. This was probably about 1:15, 1:30 in the afternoon. So that's how yours truly will kind of connect these dots. Okay, Elijah made it. That's super cool.
Right.
So then you start just having low-key chats and everything, and certainly not from an A-list source within the team or anything, just casual chats with football minds. The financial portion of the equation with Carolina, I don't exactly even know how to explain it. They want the Vikings to pay the full load, whatever. I would expect the team getting Adam Thielen to pay the full load, so right. I didn't really understand that.
Well, I wonder how much of that played into draft currency. So the idea is if Carolina was going to hold on to some of that cash, well, Minnesota, you got to give us a better pick. And Minnesota, if you're going to take on the financial burden of this, then maybe that third or that's a little high, but you know what I mean, a fourth round pick, maybe becomes a fifth as it turned into. Where I pulled this, so the trade has happened. That's it. Thielen's, I don't know if he's on a plane or where he is, but he's coming to Minnesota, so that's been widely reported.
All done.
But it was Diana Rossini, who did post that the Vikings and Adam Thielen, this was 15 minutes ago, are working on a contract at this moment.
Boom.
So does that mean you're pushing things into 2026, that maybe 19 gets to finish his career, in earnest with the purple and gold?
Right.
That's the reporting I've seen, but Thielen's back to the Vikings. This is awesome.
The Minnesota Vikings ended cuts yesterday with 7 college free agents making the roster. Okay, now that number won't stay at 7 once C.J. Ham gets himself healthy and Jalen Naylor gets himself healthy and stuff like that. But still, identify 7 college free agents, and they eventually make the squad. There are myriad ways to look at that. Really, really good day for 9 to noon to not only have Mike Florio from ProFootballTalk.com join the show about 35 minutes from now, but two beat writers who cover the Vikings, weekly components, 9 to noon. Ben Gessling with the Star Tribune will be here about an hour from now, and Alec Lewis from The Athletic, he'll be here at about 11 o'clock, and we have plenty of things to discuss, including the Minnesota Vikings trading with the Carolina Panthers for Adam Thielen, and the general manager, he just continues to play fast.
Free agency never fails on the Quasi train.
What up, Joe?
Free agency never fails on the Quasi train.
Somebody who walking over to the fan booth from his parking spot here at the Great Minnesota Get Together is making his State Fair debut. All right, now the person to my left, the right of the producer, is from the suburbs of Philadelphia, and he is the play-by-play voice for the Minnesota Wild on radio. But I saw him as we were talking about Adam Thielen returning to the Minnesota Vikings. I saw him yawn twice because his favorite football team is the Philadelphia Eagles. Quick pick for the socials, right here, Joey.
1, 2, 3, snap it.
So, being a fan of the Philadelphia Eagles, he yawned 2 times, being like, this is great. We're happy for you. You got Adam Thielen. He had 600 yards last year. Champions don't trip over 35-year-old receivers coming to a conference rival. But nevertheless, it has happened, and at Wild Joe Radio via X has joined us now. Very talented radio play-by-play voice for the Minnesota Wild. Can I get a witness and a raucous round of applause? How have you been, my brother? Good to talk to you.
Yeah, thanks for having me, PA. I see the Sweet Marthas have made their way here already. I'm not sure how you pulled that off.
Mm-hmm.
I've already had them, even though this is my first trip.
Yeah, how is it your first trip, by the way? Because you've been the Wild Vox now full-time for, 4 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, 4. And then before that, we had multifaceted Swiss Army knife terrorism with the Iowa Wild. My man's in like a coat closet, setting this guy up here on a flight, this guy over here is going somewhere else, got to get the team ready. And, by the way, he needs to get his numbers ready for the Iowa Wild game that evening.
Like
so
chuck a puck during the first intermission and calling plays.
Got the banana race taking place between the second and third. You got monkeys on the backs of dogs going around the ice. It's just a spectacle.
I did officiate a wedding one time in intermission, but we'll leave that for another time.
Now, I have good news for you.
What's up? Okay,
and we welcome Radio Joe to the equation, and we always like to provide good news to people when they join us here at the Great Minnesota Get Together. Joe the Affable Joe O'Donnell, being a Philadelphia Eagles fan, don't add him, and no hard feelings. Yours truly, and we at the KFAN iHeart family have secured you a spot right next to the Vox Box in the iHeart suite for October 19th when your birds are in town. Emily Scott, who runs all of this and is a kind, loving soul, also has included in-stadium parking, full food and beverage for you and your family, a private elevator to said suite, and complete locker room access after the game. How great is that?
That's amazing. Thank you, PA.
Right. Well, there's another part of it.
What's that?
You obviously haven't looked at the schedule.
Yeah.
You're going to be at the New York Rangers that day, so you can't. So we'll just give it to the Nordquist family, right?
Yeah. I didn't know if I should break it, No, I should be gracious and then tell you off air.
I was hoping you would dagger the touchdown by saying, Paul, I can't be there. But nevertheless.
So did you see where they play the day before?
Yeah, Philly against the Flyers.
Could you make that up?
No.
I mean,
you can watch maybe part of the game before you take off to LaGuardia or JFK and get ready for the game at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, it's a tough break. The schedule makers were not kind to me in that regard. But what are you going to do, man?
Let's pause now, and then we'll go long form with the Wilds Radio Vox, Joe O'Donnell. But the A topic for the local sports market is the Minnesota Vikings 45 minutes ago traded with the Carolina Panthers to bring Adam Thielen back to the Covenant for the first game and beyond against the Chicago Bears a week from Monday. He's Nordo. I'm Paul Allen. That's Joe O'Donnell. We'll get into the Wild and some other topics around the corner when we return to the great Minnesota get-together adjacent to the grandstand here in Falcon Heights. You're listening to
This Labor Day, say goodbye to spills, stains, and overpriced furniture with WashableSofas.com. Featuring Anabay, the only machine washable sofa inside and out, where designer quality meets budget-friendly pricing. Sofas start at just $6.99, making it the perfect time to upgrade your space. Anabay's pet-friendly, stain-resistant, and interchangeable slipcovers are made with high-performance fabric built for real life. You'll love the cloud-like comfort of hypoallergenic, high-resilience foam that never needs fluffing, and a durable steel frame that stands the test of time. With modular pieces, you can rearrange anytime. It's a sofa that adapts to your life. Now through Labor Day, get up to 60% off site-wide at WashableSofas.com. Every order comes with a 30-day satisfaction guarantee. If you're not in love, send it back for a full refund. No return shipping, no restocking fees, every penny back. Shop now at WashableSofas.com. Offers are subject to change and certain restrictions may apply.
Mint is still $15 a month for premium wireless. And if you haven't made the switch yet, here are 15 reasons why you should. 1, it's $15 a month. 2, seriously, it's $15 a month. 3, no big contracts. 4, I use it. 5, my mom uses it. Are you playing me off? That's what's happening, right? Okay, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan. $15 per month equivalent required. New customer offer first 3 months only. Then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Life moves fast. A new home, a new baby, a new chapter. But without an estate plan, your future's still vulnerable. With Trust and Will, you can name guardians, start a trust, create healthcare directives, and more. All online in about an hour. It's attorney-designed, state-specific, and built to protect what you love. Plans start at just $199, and every plan is safe, secure, and kept completely private. From families with young kids to adults caring for aging parents, Trust and Will makes it simple to take control, without a law office, paperwork stress, or court delays. Go to trustandwill.com and use code RADIO to save 20%. Start your plan today. Don't wait for life to force your hand. Estate planning is one of the smartest, most loving things you can do. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. See website for details.
Trust and Will.
This is Rob Gronkowski from Dudes on Dudes. Anyone else feeling hungry? Because Applebee's just cooked up the ultimate option play with their new Ultimate Trio deal. You can choose from 3 of their delicious appetizers and pair them up with 3 sauces for just $14.99. Craft your perfect trio from over 80,000 different combinations in this flavor-packed plate built for one. or to share if you're generous. You can stick with the classic pairings like boneless wings and buffalo sauce, mozzarella sticks and marinara, or brew pub pretzels and white cheddar beer cheese. Or you can spice things up and try some unexpected combinations like dipping chicken wonton tacos and their honey Dijon mustard. The choice is yours. The Ultimate Trio is the perfect way to hit all your cravings in one plate and turn appetizers into an entree. It's time to head to your neighborhood Applebee's or order online today. Now that's eating good in the neighborhood.
9 to noon. Minnesota get-together. Paul Allen with Joe O'Donnell, the radio voice for the Minnesota Wild. Joe also has a podcast. It's a one-on-one with Joe O'Donnell. Where can people find that podcast, Mr. Joe?
I appreciate that. It's every major platform. Just had Aaron Bogosian on maybe about a month ago from the Minnesota Wild. He's the brother Zach Bogosian.
Human performance specialist, and I wanted to know what that meant.
He is almost like a character coach for the Wild. So working with the prospects, meeting with potential draft picks, assessing, kind of vetting them, and then helping guys when they're struggling or looking to get called up and just kind of staying with the process of being a pro. So really cool stuff I thought there. And then hoping to have Nico Sturm join me later this week as he's now back from Germany into Minnesota and get ready for his second stint with the Wild.
There is so much of what you just said that goes on behind the scenes with professional sports teams. I mean, like when I was prepping the Vox and I saw the podcast and I knew the name Bogosian, but I didn't know Aaron Bogosian. Then I looked into it and I'm like, human performance specialist. All right. It's because it's, how are we going to put this? When you're in your 20s, and you are receiving large sums of money, and personal life still gets to win too, and all the pressure that's on you to perform, and your body hurts, and your mind gets worn down, and all this cash is coming in and stuff. You don't have any time to spend it because you're practicing or playing. There are distractions that a lot of pro athletes face that legitimately we never will face, like regular people never will face. And sometimes that requires some behind the scenes ministering, counseling, and human performance specialist type stuff that's very prevalent in pro sports behind the scenes. Don't you agree?
Yeah, and I think you see more and more organizations, whether it's on the analytical side or the nutrition stuff. I mean, if you're not top of your class, essentially, in some of those things, if you're not providing the players with every resource possible, if you're not developing players properly at the minor league level, depending on your sport, that's where you can really kind of lose some ground to your competition. So it's great to see that the Wild have invested so much in so many areas, resource-wise, to make them a top-end organization.
This is a common thread question for a lot of our guests who join 9 to noon early in the equation. But given this is the first time Radio Joe O'Donnell has been to the Great Minnesota Get-Together, Nordo did you a solid, okay? Because you guys are texting about today and everything, and you're like, well, I live here, and GPS says 30 minutes. I think I'll leave at 8 o'clock. And how'd you respond to that, the Nords?
That's just not going to work in this case. Welcome
to
the fair. Welcome to Como Avenue. Welcome to the Clip.
How bad was it?
As we call it.
It wasn't terrible, but I will say that and I love him to death, but Kevin Gorg worries about everything in life.
Yeah.
And I knew he was a fair goer and had been on with you last week earlier.
Oh, you got intel.
So I gave him the old, what time should I leave?
Yeah.
And he was like, leave at 5 a.m.
Yep.
He's the guy that gets to the airport 6 hours for his flight.
Mm-hmm.
So he gave, when it was on my radar that there should be a little bit of grace for parking and traffic and all that, that's when I was like, Nordo, what do you think about 8? And he's like, no, I want to leave 4-8. So I did.
Yeah, man.
And I made it just in time. So
I
work all around, guys.
I left Eden Prairie today at the latest time that I've left since I'm coming to the fair this year, beginning 6 days ago, last Thursday. I think I left at 6:30, 6:35. And I would prefer, and you can paint Nordo, Gorgie, and yours truly however you want. I would prefer to get to a parking spot and sit in my car for an hour and 20 minutes and write 9 to noon with this chicken scratch, listen to whatever I want to listen to on the radio, and just slow roll into it, than deal with that Como Park freaking grind at 8:35 in the morning, and you got people cutting people off. Now all of a sudden we got a mechanical, and now you're sweating being here on time. So that's just how Nordo.
Well, is there a more helpless, like, bless our police officers, right? But you're the guy with the yellow vest trying to tell these people which direction to go and who's going to go and when to do it.
Yeah.
Does there talk about an exercise in futility?
It's tough.
Trying to keep that craziness going. That's why we have the best hours in radio.
Yeah,
I think so.
I agree.
And I think we have the smartest fairgoers in front of us at this hour.
Smart fairgoers. Can I get a witness and a raucous round of applause?
They know what that thing's going to be looking like, and they're going to be leaving. They're going to be going the opposite direction, and it's wide open.
Everybody was very friendly and helpful.
Yeah.
I wonder how that goes throughout the day.
Mm-hmm.
Like after you get to 2-3 p.m.
There's
the
a
workers, are they
deterioration.
tired of the questions? And
Is that eye-opening to you, given you're from a place adjacent to Philadelphia? I mean, people being nice and kind. And...
I will say the first time we moved away, my wife and I, we went to Boise, Idaho, because I took a job there.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember her going to a grocery store. We weren't there very long, a couple of months. And she couldn't believe why, like, the lady checking you out at the grocery store wanted to, like, actually know how her day was. Like, we just weren't, we just weren't used to that.
What do you mean by
right?
that?
Yeah.
So now
where at like Wawa in Philadelphia, you get shaken down as you leave to make sure you didn't steal a Pez container.
Hey, have a nice day, you guys. What the hell you mean by that?
Right.
Like, what?
Hey, what's that mean? You think I stole something?
Yeah. So, like, I will say when we go back, I am always reminded, like, when you call to order a pizza, they're like, name, Joe. Large pepperoni. All right, 15 minutes. And they hang up the phone. Like, that's it. The transaction's over. You go up in 15 minutes, and they'll figure out the cost. Like, you don't say how much is that. Like, they don't care about any of that. It's like, next, move along.
Yeah, I understand. And it has a side of efficiency to it, too. What do you make of your Wild this season? Let's just begin there.
All right, I'm really excited. I'm glad the Marco Rossi thing is done now, right? And I think it's a very fair contract for both sides. With the way he has produced the last 2 seasons, I think $5 million is a very fair number. And you get him at 3 years. When the deal's up, he's still young enough to cash in again if he produces, and the Wild can make a decision from there. But I'm excited because of the youth that I expect. You know, it's not a lot of turnover again, as we've seen with the Wild. The core guys are still the core guys for the most part, but I love you get Zeev Buium and David Jiricek. They're going to compete for a spot, and they're going to be hopefully impact players. You've got the young goaltender Jesper Wallstedt. Big skates to fill with no Fleury riding off into the sunset, but I'm excited about the youth there behind Philip Gustafsson. And Danila Yurov, the young Russian player that's coming over to North America. He's going to be on this roster, you know, if he performs well in training camp. And so I think from just that perspective, like that infusion of Buium, Jiricek, Yurov, and Wallstedt, like that's something to really get excited about. And if you remember last year before the Wild got so banged up that they were a shell of their opening night roster, they're the best team in the NHL. So I'm excited.
In December, December of 2024?
Yeah, but
right.
I mean, they were right there with all the top teams in the league, and then they had to scratch and claw their way to get in on the final game of the season, as we know. But I'm excited about the returning players, the fact that, you know, you have a rising superstar in Boldy and obviously Kaprizov, one of the best in the world, and then these young players. I want to see them get acclimated and hopefully contribute in a big way.
All right, now, Joe O'Donnell at Wild Radio Joe. Please follow him via all social media channels, but the only one I have is Twitter or X. That's where I follow him. Do the same if you are so inclined. Let's go to the other side of the equation where you just talked about youthful vigor. What are we expecting from Vladimir Tarasenko, who last season with Detroit played 14 minutes a game, his fewest since his first season with St. Louis in 2012?
I think it's a sort of buy low, low risk, high reward situation for the Wild. I really think that a change of scenery could be good for them. hoping he rounds back into that 20-25 goal form. If you get that from Tarasenko, I think it's a win. Didn't cost him much, obviously, and you're just hoping a player with experience and a Stanley Cup ring and the ability to score goals, help the power play, whether it's the second unit or the first unit, I guess remains to be seen. My guess there is PP2 for him, and hopefully you get that bounce back. Veteran guy, just didn't work out in Detroit. Change of scenery, go from there.
Are we expecting, or are you expecting any Kaprizov news anytime soon?
I mean, I hope so. I think that's the hope of all Wild fans. Like, you don't, my opinion, you don't want this to drag into the season, because then it's a storyline every day, every month.
Hold on real quick. Ali's Crab Fritters. Where are you located these days? North side next to Gizmos, these crab fritters that he delivers daily to 9 to noon. Round of applause for the kindness, first of all. But secondly, frequent his spot. I mean, Ali has been so great to 9 to noon for so many years. Right here, brother. I appreciate you, man. Thank you very much. Hopefully you do some good business today. You were saying?
Reached the big time, APA?
Yeah. I mean, we're
cookies here off the hop.
This is your crab fritter covenant, the fan, and KFAN.com. Anyway.
So Kaprizov, I just don't think you want it to drag out, because it becomes a bit of a distraction media-wise. The fans will start rumbling about it. Mm-hmm. But again, it's
well, they should be rumbling now.
It's going to take time, right? It's you're talking about the biggest deal, Wild history, most likely one of the biggest deals in NHL history. He deserves it with the way he's played. Craig Leopold, the Wild owner, has come out and said they don't want him going anywhere. So yeah. I think that it'll work itself out in due time. Everything we read and hear and everything I've seen is that Kaprizov loves being a Minnesota Wild player and being part of this community. And let's just hope it gets done sooner rather than later, because the longer it drags on, obviously everybody gets a little antsy.
Okay, well, without oversharing during September, okay? Because let's just say, I mean, Labor Day is right around the corner, man. So, I mean, if this Kirill Kaprizov deal gets done from, say, now up to the end of August, I'm going to hit September. So without sharing social media-wise, radio shows, one-on-one podcast or whatever, what point with training camp beginning, September 29th? That's the Timberwolves. Well, when does
that's sooner than that. Rookie camp is the weekend of the 13th.
Okay.
And then camp starts that following week. I think the first preseason game's the 20th or 21st in Winnipeg.
Against Dallas, right? Okay, and then you got Dallas right around there too. All right, cool. That's perfect. So with September on the horizon, when do you start steamrolling a little bit behind the scenes, just so you know what's coming, when it's coming, what to be prepared for, things like that? Even if you don't share with anybody, maybe you know that now. Is that September, the Vikings play the Bears Monday, September 8th?
Yeah.
That's the season opener. Your squad opens a week from tomorrow against the Dallas Cowboys. So somewhere around there, say the 4th through the 9th. If nothing has taken place, do you start steamrolling then just to figure out what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, the beginning of camp, obviously, is when things really ramp up for everybody. You want to be at the rink, you want to meet the new players, you want to kind of get a vibe of what's going on. The hardest part for me, broadcasting-wise, is probably the preseason, because you don't find out till the day before who's playing. A lot of these players you might never see again, some you might not see for a couple years. So I get a little stressed out about the preseason, because you got to be so prepared for, again, players that you normally aren't going to see in an NHL regular season game. And I tend to harass the PR staff from the various teams earlier than they would like. Any idea who's playing Saturday? And they're like, no, we'll let you know Friday.
Yeah, right.
That gets my broadcast prep thrown for a loop. But the preseason is I don't know, it's just a little bit harder to get ready for, because you got to do extra stuff in case, somebody's in or out.
Yeah, so you're a team employee, okay? I'm not a team employee with the Minnesota Vikings. I have this disease 1099 to call preseason games and interview Kevin O'Connell and just do a bunch of things during the course of the year. Very, very blessed and gracious that they pay me to do certain things, but it's not of the team employee variety. I get paid to call Minnesota Vikings games by KFAN and iHeart. So, but being a team employee, I have a high level of respect for how teams handle certain things when it comes to the public. So I'll land the plane here like this. I mean, is there any concern? Is there any concern that something has gone wrong, or are you just in wait and see mode?
As far as what?
Kaprizov, getting Kaprizov signed.
No, I mean, I wouldn't know much more than the person that follows Russo Radio, so to speak.
Right. Michael will know before anybody else.
But again, everything I've heard is like it'll be okay. So that's what I'm going off of. I'm excited to get the season started.
Got you.
And 97, hopefully 1,000% healthy, so to speak, just dominates like he usually does. And the contract stuff takes care of itself.
Joe O'Donnell, radio play-by-play voice for the Minnesota Wild, calls games on KFAN with Brock Faber. Now, I'm cherry-picking a little bit towards the end of the season. Can't exactly remember what the injury situation was, but I do know in the playoff series or near the end of the year, sometimes the minutes that he was playing in games was absolutely amazing because he's such a machine. Brock Faber's so good at what he does, but do you think they'll pull back a smidge on Faber's minutes? And perhaps he ran out of gas a little bit last season.
Well, I think that you look at that game to game very much so. Like, you got to win the game in front of you a lot of times, as you know. And so if it requires him to play 26, 28, 30 minutes,
right,
sometimes you just need to do that. Now, the Jonas Brodin injury thing, and how long until he gets up and running? Does he just miss the preseason? Does he miss the beginning of the regular season? Is it 2 games? Is it 5 games? Like, that's going to change Faber's minutes just based on the depth there on the back end. So if the Wild blue line stays healthy, I really like their mix and their pairings and the depth. And then hopefully, you're right, like as the season moves along, if guys are stepping up, if Jiricek's playing well, if Bouillon can play a regular shift and play on the power play and give you 5-on-5 minutes, then you don't have to play Faber or run him into the ground in January and February.
And with the second-year blue liner, Zeev Bouillon, is he set to take off this year? Like, what would your expectations be for this step, his first full-time season at the highest level?
I mean, you look at all the comparables on the analytical sites, and it's got superstar written all over it. And I think that last year, just those couple of playoff games were enough of a taste for him to be more prepared going into this summer, which we're now winding down, obviously, and getting ready for training camp. And I think a full camp and a bunch of practices and more, sort of that comfort level with the Wild organization, how they run things, what the NHL is all about, is going to just be wonderful for him. I had a chance to talk with Andy Ness, the Wild skating coach, earlier this summer, and he's a guy that will work a lot this summer with Bouillon, that will chat with him to make sure he's ready to go. Wild strength coach Matt Harder and the training staff will have him maybe more prepared for the NHL season. So I think big things are coming from Zeev Bouillon. I don't think it'll take him long to get off the ground and running, and I think, again, that playoff experience last year let him know, hey, this is what the NHL is all about. Now he's better prepared.
It's time to drop the puck.
The Minnesota Wild, sadly, have not won a playoff series in a decade. Do you think that changes this year?
Yes.
Why?
Because it's time.
Well, that's unacceptable for an answer. And
I know, but I
with
just,
all due respect,
the fan base is ready for it. The players have gotten there. They've knocked on the door.
Yeah.
I really think that the cap flexibility the Wild have going into this season will allow them to be players.
Yeah.
It will allow them to, hey, we got a slow start. We need to change things up. Near the deadline, is somebody available? An injury situation, we can fix it on the fly.
Yep.
The last couple of years, they haven't had that flexibility or the ability to be as aggressive as they want. I think, was it last year's deadline or the year before, Bill Guerin said it's not our time. Now it feels like this is the time with the cap flexibility. So I like the little bit of work they did in the offseason. I think they just kind of tweak things, but they give themselves room to improve. And again, if it's a healthy team, I really think they're not only a playoff team, but a team ready to take the next step.
And lastly, and it ties in perfectly off what you said about flexibility, with the buyouts off the books, pretty good cap space and a bevy of young talent. It seems like it's going the right way. It may not be at the right way right now, but it seems to be going the right way. Is that fair?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why I started with saying, like, I'm really excited by the youth that'll be on the roster. Again, sort of, the end pieces to the core that's already there is like, hey, now we've got some young players, prospects that we can develop here that are going to contribute. They have to contribute, quite frankly. And if they become star players like Bouillon and Urov over time, this Wild team set up nicely for the future.
My brother, thank you for coming out to the State Bear. Greatly appreciate you. Joe O'Donnell, ladies and gentlemen. Listen to him on KFAN and the vast and ever-expanding Wild Audio Network. all season with a training camp about 3 weeks from now, and then the regular season shortly after that. Joe's very good at what he does, and very, very kind to come out to the Great Minnesota Get-Together. Now, that's the frivolity and the happy part of the equation to begin 9 to noon. I mean, we've been joyous. Adam Thielen is returning to the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings traded for him about an hour ago. Wild Joe O'Donnell stopped by to sell some hope with the Minnesota Wild. That's fantastic. That there is another side of the equation, and we're being serious with this here, so listen closely. Let's head over to Nordo.
Yeah, sadly, to put an absolute damper on the festivities, I do need to report, non-sports related, that an active shooter incident did take place at Annunciation Catholic School earlier this morning. This is from WCCO. Large number of first responders are on the scene, 54th Avenue between Harriet and Garfield. We have as many as 20 confirmed people that have been shot. There is a shooter. I have seen no confirmation in terms of if that shooter has either been neutralized or apprehended. Very early on the reports, the governor has been briefed on the shooting. He said, "I'm praying for our kids and teachers. First week of school marred by a horrific act of violence." And I've been told as well by Chad Abbott, our program director, that if there is a press conference or any more reporting, BCA, the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, State Patrol, Minneapolis Police, all are on scene, that if there is a press conference, we'll have more to report on that at this time. And it just notes again, Annunciation Catholic School attached to a church. There was an all-school mass at 8:15 a.m. So we're going to find out more info, and we'll keep all you guys posted on that.
And thank you very much for sharing that. Prayers from yours truly, and to those of you here for the family members and the individuals affected by this. That includes the ancillary people around it who saw it, and things like that. So 9 to noon is quite devout when it comes to prayer and a recognition that everything starts and stops through God. That's where we're going to take it. Hopefully you do it the same, and bring some peace to the individuals and the families impacted by what has transpired this morning. We'll be right back.
This Labor Day, say goodbye to spills, stains, and overpriced furniture with WashableSofas.com. Featuring Anabay, the only machine washable sofa inside and out, where designer quality meets budget-friendly pricing. Sofas start at just $6.99, making it the perfect time to upgrade your space. Anabay's pet-friendly, stain-resistant, and interchangeable slipcovers are made with high-performance fabric built for real life. You'll love the cloud-like comfort of hypoallergenic, high-resilience foam that never needs fluffing, and a durable steel frame that stands the test of time. With modular pieces, you can rearrange anytime. It's a sofa that adapts to your life. Now through Labor Day, get up to 60% off site-wide at WashableSofas.com. Every order comes with a 30-day satisfaction guarantee. If you're not in love, send it back for a full refund. No return shipping, no restocking fees, every penny back. Shop now at WashableSofas.com. Offers are subject to change and certain restrictions may apply.
Life moves fast. A new home, a new baby, a new chapter. But without an estate plan, your future's still vulnerable. With Trust and Will, you can name guardians, start a trust, create healthcare directives, and more. All online in about an hour. It's attorney-designed, state-specific, and built to protect what you love. Plans start at just $199, and every plan is safe, secure, and kept completely private. From families with young kids to adults caring for aging parents, Trust and Will makes it simple to take control, without a law office, paperwork stress, or court delays. Go to trustandwill.com and use code RADIO to save 20%. Start your plan today. Don't wait for life to force your hand. Estate planning is one of the smartest, most loving things you can do. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. See website for details.
Trust and Will.
This is Julian Edelman from Games with Names. Anyone else feeling hungry? Because Applebee's just cooked up the ultimate option play with their new Ultimate Trio deal. You can choose from 3 of their delicious appetizers and pair them up with 3 sauces for just $14.99. Craft your perfect trio from over 80,000 different combinations in this flavor-packed plate built for one, or to share if you're generous. You could stick with the classic pairings like boneless wings and buffalo sauce, mozzarella sticks and marinara, or brew pub pretzels with white cheddar beer cheese. Or you could spice things up and try some unexpected combinations like dipping chicken wonton tacos in their honey Dijon mustard. The choice is yours. The Ultimate Trio is the perfect way to hit all your cravings in one plate and turn appetizers into an entree. It's time to head to your neighborhood Applebee's or order online today. That's eating good in the neighborhood.
Talk about stepping up.
It's time to level up your game. Introducing the all-new ESPN app. All of ESPN, all in one place. Your home for the most live sports and the best championship moments.
The electricity is palpable.
Step up your game with no annual contract required. It's the ultimate fan experience. Level up for more on the ESPN app or at stream.espn.com. Sign up now.
PFT. Welcome back to 9 to noon. Adam Thielen has returned to the Minnesota Vikings. And here to chat about that and more is Mike Florio from ProFootballTalk.com. He's an author, and he's been a member, a card-carrying member of this covenant for well over 2 decades. Here we are at the State Fair with a large crowd, and those of you listening to 9 to noon know who this is. Let's give him a round of applause for his dedication to 9 to noon, the National Football League, and writing books. And Michael joins us now. What's going on, buddy?
I heard 2 hands clapping. That's all you can do? Come on, people, let's go.
Make it louder. Big Shield, big drive, big shield. We maybe should have considered this year, but for next year, spend a day out here at the State Fair and sell some books. I mean, about 144,000 people visit the fair daily, so that could lead to a bunch of sold books and stuff like that. What do you think, Michael?
Do they have fried butter?
Do they have fried butter? I'm sure they can fry some butter up for you, my brother, like gator on.
Isn't that the place, though, like the State Fair, where they'll take anything and fry it like a shoe? Just fry it and sell it, and people will buy it and eat it. I'd try a fried shoe. I mean, if you fry it long enough, anything's edible, right?
It can be. We have this nice, spacious radio booth. We have grandstands in front of us, and we have plenty of room for a table if you'd like to sell some books, because we are always there to help. By the way, with Mike's books, if you want to learn more, ProFootballTalk.com. The most recent one is a piece of fiction called Big Shield. Has a gambling bent to it, with pro football, not the NFL, but pro football. And you can learn more about that at ProFootballTalk.com. Now, cuts are done. The Vikings traded for Adam Thielen this morning. What do you think about all that?
I think it's great. Bring him home. Bring the native home. I was upset when he left. Look, guys got to do what's right for him. Panthers made the offer. He decided to relocate. I think what happens a lot of times, and the Vikings went through this with Matt Burke years ago, there's a temptation to lowball a guy that you think doesn't want to leave. Well, he left, and now he's back at a time when they need the help at receiver, and at least he's got time in that system with Kevin O'Connell from 2022. So it's good, especially those first 3 games. No Jordan Addison. Needs somebody to come in. Jalen Naylor week to week with the hand injury. Justin Jefferson maybe not quite up to 100% exactly. I think it's helpful. Those first 3 games, got to get through that stretch of at least 2 objectively winnable games, although who knows what the Vikings are stepping into in Chicago in 12 days. But, yeah, I think it's good. I like it. I saw that it was a possibility, and then it died down, and then out of the blue it's done. So good for the Vikings to bring him home.
So after now that the cuts are done, and here we go in 8 days, and Mike will be in Philadelphia. He also does a lot of great work for Football Night in America, NBC, and Peacock. So he'll be up at Lincoln Financial for the Cowboys and the Eagles, and that's just 8 days away. The Champs lost about one half of their starters on defense, but still. They're still stacked. Do you expect them to be the Eagles, the first team in 2 decades to go back-to-back in the NFC East?
Well, first of all, when you mentioned that the season starts at Lincoln Financial Field, don't you long for the day that the season begins at U.S. Bank Stadium? Wouldn't that be the ultimate culmination to that Super Bowl run? That everybody there at the State Fair has been waiting for, unless there's a stray Packers fan or two that has been allowed beyond the perimeter. Isn't that what we want? Week 1, Thursday night, hang the banner at U.S. Bank Stadium to start the season. But as for the Eagles, look, you're always going to have turnover. You're going to lose guys. The Eagles really are stacked. And I think back to the 70s when Pete Rozelle hated the fact that a small handful of teams ran the league, Steelers, Raiders, Cowboys, Dolphins. We kind of got the same thing now, where you've got this super class of teams that has cracked the code on the salary cap and free agency, and they're just better than everybody else because they know how to draft, they know how to develop, they know, specifically the Eagles, how to identify talented players and get them signed to new contracts at a time when it's cheaper, not more expensive, and the rich get richer, and the good teams stay good. And I'd love to see someone disrupt that in either conference. Not that that's an anti-Chiefs or anti-Eagles take, but don't we want a little variety? The Chiefs have been in every Super Bowl for the AFC other than one since the 2019 season. The worst-case scenario for Patrick Mahomes is losing in the AFC Championship in overtime. That's his floor in 7 years as a starter. It really is amazing what they've done. And there's no reason to think those teams won't be great again. And, you know, it sounds kind of chalkish to say Eagles-Chiefs rematch, and who really wants that game for 3 out of 4 years in the Super Bowl, but both teams, to me, look to be pretty good, and both teams know how to win big games in big spots, and the Eagles have arguably the most talented roster in the entire NFL.
Well, and Nordo and I last week, getting up to the cuts and training camp ending and stuff, we spent a couple of days looking at teams with a puncher Super Bowl or maybe win it. And like, you know, from the AFC, Joey Burrow with Cincinnati, maybe Harbaugh and Herbert with the LA Chargers. There are other teams. But then you get to the realistic equation that if you get in as a wild card or a division winner, you're probably going to have to go through 2 of the Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes. I mean, you're going to have to go through at least 2/3 of that gauntlet, most likely, to get to the Super Bowl. That's just so tough, isn't it?
Well, I think about all this talk with Aaron Rodgers and the impact he's going to have on the Steelers. Look, he's going to have to run a hell of a gauntlet to get back to a Super Bowl. And Sims and I were talking about this yesterday. You know, I think he would just love to get to the playoffs one more time to kind of erase the ugliness of the last 2 seasons with the Jets. If he gets to the playoffs and he decides, I'm going to cut it loose, I'm going to go for it, like he did in 2010 when the Packers got in by the skin of their teeth as the 6th seed and they got hot. Cut it loose, throw the ball down the field, maybe they can get lucky and build some momentum. But it's not going to be easy for anyone to get to the top of the AFC. You got to get past the Chiefs. Mahomes and Allen, their legacies, not Mahomes and Allen and Lamar, their legacies are on the line, and Burrow is trying to crash that party. And, yeah, whoever emerges from the NFC is going to have to deal with the team that gets out of that meat grinder, and they're probably going to be better for it. So it's a tough road. I'd love to see. Now, I think any team can make the playoffs, even the team that we would look at and say they have no chance. With 17 games and 7 spots per conference in the postseason, any team can make it. But it's not going to be easy to advance because at some point you're going up against a quarterback who has shown in the past he can make a big play in a big spot and thrives on those moments, and you're going to have a guy who's never done it before. That, you know, that would be the ultimate litmus test for J.J. McCarthy. It's not what he does week 1 through week 18. It's what he does when it's single elimination time. Does he rise to the moment like he did at the college level, or is that moment too big for him like it was last year for Sam Darnold?
We at the State Fair, there are people in front of us now, a lot of them too. And they'll come up and they'll submit questions and stuff like that. And where somebody from Galveston, Texas, he's a full-time package handler for UPS. His name's Lonnie Anderson. He just dropped off a question for you because the Houston Texans are his favorite team, and he's like, can you ask him? The Texans win the AFC South for sure, right?
I don't know how certain I am about it. Look, the Texans have decided that being just good enough is not good enough, and they've undergone some pretty significant changes. They fired their offensive coordinator a year after he was in the conversation for head coaching jobs. Bobby Slowick gone. They've dumped like 60% of the starting offensive line. So they are deliberately trying to get into that mix with the Chiefs, the Ravens, the Bills, because they've gotten to the final 8 2 straight years, and they've given the Ravens 1 year and the Chiefs the next year a decent fight in the divisional round. They're trying to get into that short list. I wonder how it's going to go. And this whole Joe Mixon thing, earlier today, Nick Caserio, the GM of the team, said we'll see if he even plays at all this year. He got some injury that nobody's talking about that's a non-football injury. He's on the NFI list. It's a hell of an opportunity for Nick Chubb, who had a horrible knee injury I never thought he'd come back from. He's their starting running back going into the season. Mixon was a difference maker for them last year. That's going to be part of the challenge. And I think that the Jaguars could be better. The Colts, if Daniel Jones does what they think he can, they will be in the mix. And don't rule out the Titans. I think Cam Ward's got the chance to be pretty damn good. And they're kind of flying under radar and no one's paying attention, much like the Texans 2 years ago. You just go about your business, you win the games you're supposed to win. The next thing you know, you're in the mix for the postseason. I won't be surprised if the Titans, when we get to December, are in position where if they go 3-1 down the stretch, they end up either winning the division or stealing one of the wild card berths.
All right, and lastly, for Mike Florio from ProFootballTalk.com, and Mike, by the way, is the only phone guest that we generally have during the State Fair. That's how highly we think of him. How about Deion's kids? Shador and the Tickets and Bowles basically kick Shiloh off the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and Dad just can't be happy about this, right?
Well, Deion had some, I think, appropriate comments yesterday about Shiloh, that he's going to pray for another opportunity, and if football doesn't work out, he's got plenty of other things he can do. And hey, look, the Sanders family is doing pretty well. Deion's done pretty well. He can take care of his family, and he made that point yesterday. The issue with Shiloh, even though it looks like it was kind of like retribution because he threw a punch on Saturday night, on Sunday word comes out that he's getting cut, they love the kid. The question is he good enough? And there's only 1,696 roster spots in the NFL. There are far more people out there who would love to play in the NFL. There are far more people out there who had the talent to play at a high level in college. They just aren't good enough to be one of the ones to make it to a 53-man roster. So what can Shiloh do? Will he land on a practice squad, Tampa Bay or elsewhere? Can he get an opportunity some way, somehow? Miles Simmons made this point today on PFT Live, and I think it's a good one. For a player like a safety, there's a way where you can get opportunities on special teams. The next thing you know, you get yourself an opportunity in the base defense, and you show what you can do. And those opportunities come very, very infrequently, but if you make the most of them, it'll happen. And for Shador, he's number 3 on that depth chart, and I think they really like Dillon Gabriel. I think they believe and hope Dillon Gabriel can become the guy, which means at some point down the line, the Browns are going to be looking to flip Shador Sanders for more than what they gave up to get him. And I think that's one of the motivations for taking him. It was an asset. It was a bargain. It's buy low, sell high. I don't think they view him as their future number 1 quarterback. I think they believe of anyone on the roster, the potential long-term answer is Dillon Gabriel.
Appreciate you, brother. Call you next week. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul.
Mike Florio, ProFootballTalk.com. Can I get a witness and a raucous round of applause from the congregation? By the way, if you just joined us here at the State Fair, Minnesota Vikings fans, a familiar face and name.
Cousins takes the snap. Green Bay rushes 4. Cousins passes. Thielen! He caught it! Is he in? Touchdown! What an amazing pass by Kirk Cousins, threading the needle. Thielen closes on it. 22-yard touchdown, and we're a 2-point conversion from tying the game.
Adam Thielen coming back to the Minnesota Vikings, ladies and gentlemen, via a trade. Ben Gessling covers the team for the Star Tribune. He just completed feverishly writing an updated trade story from the parking lot here in Falcon Heights, and the scribe is quite prompt. He'll join 9 to noon next for most of the 10 o'clock hour to discuss the Thielen trade, cuts and things like that, and get us all ready for a week from Monday and Monday Night Football and the Minnesota Vikings season opener against the Chicago Bears. You're listening to 9 to noon from the State Fair. Be right back.
This Labor Day, say goodbye to spills, stains, and overpriced furniture with WashableSofas.com. Featuring Anabay, the only machine washable sofa inside and out, where designer quality meets budget-friendly pricing. Sofas start at just $6.99, making it the perfect time to upgrade your space. Anabay's pet-friendly, stain-resistant, and interchangeable slip covers are made with high-performance fabric built for real life. You'll love the cloud-like comfort of hypoallergenic, high-resilience foam that never needs fluffing, and a durable steel frame that stands the test of time. With modular pieces, you can rearrange anytime. It's a sofa that adapts to your life. Now through Labor Day, get up to 60% off site-wide at WashableSofas.com. Every order comes with a 30-day satisfaction guarantee. If you're not in love, send it back for a full refund. No return shipping, no restocking fees, every penny back. Shop now at WashableSofas.com. Offers are subject to change and certain restrictions may apply.
Every day has a to-do list, but adding Enjoy Belvita to yours can help you knock out the rest of it. Belvita breakfast biscuits are a tasty and convenient breakfast option when paired with low-fat yogurt and fruit that provides steady energy all morning. While Belvita Energy Snack Bites give you the perfect mid-morning refuel. Best part, they both taste great. So make the most out of your morning with a bite of Belvita. Pick up a pack of Belvita at your local store today.
Fox One is now live. It's the new way to stream all your Fox favorites all in one place. That means NFL Sundays and college football games, breaking news with the Fox voices you trust, and your favorite shows streamed as they happen so nothing gets spoiled. With Fox One, you get it all live. Edge-of-your-seat plays, jaw-dropping moments, and that feeling like you're right there in the action. Start your 7-day trial today. Offers are subject to change. Go to Fox One for complete terms and conditions. Fox One, we live for live. Streaming now.
Every business has an ambition. PayPal Open is the platform designed to help you grow into yours. With business loans so you can expand and access to hundreds of millions of PayPal customers worldwide. And your customers can pay all the ways they want with PayPal, Venmo, Pay Later, and all major cards, so you can focus on scaling up. When it's time to get growing, there's one platform for all business. PayPal Open. Grow today at paypalopen.com. Loans subject to approval in available locations.